Welcome back to Topics in Psychology. I'm Dr. Sharon Eve, psychotherapist, author, and educator. I've been doing psychotherapy for a really long time. I've listened to lots of people share their stories, and some of the most heartbreaking ones have to do with how they've come to feel about themselves. So today, I want to talk about your self-esteem. And specifically, let's look at how you got where you are, what that looks like now, and make sure you stick around till the end because I'll give you a few concrete tips of things you can try that may help you feel better about yourself and more consistently, ideally. So the family that you grew up in, you probably were raised by parents who didn't understand that what you needed was to have your value mirrored back to you. They may have felt like they needed to criticize you and give you advice and tell you what to do so you'll be able to be successful in the world or be somebody people can respect. Their ideas of who you should be. So all that criticism, you soak it in like a sponge and it stays in there. I bet if I opened up your brains and I could see all those criticism, I could see one here and one there, and I bet you can identify them too. So growing up, the schoolyard is a brutal place. Kids who come from families where there was a lot of criticism and shaming learn how to do that too. There may be teachers, there may be fellow students that have made you feel unwanted, like you don't belong, that nobody would love you. That stays with you too. What does this all mean for how you are today? Since you didn't learn how your own value and you didn't learn how to be your own, what we call, the fancy term for it is internal locus of evaluation. The way you evaluate yourself, it's not out there by other people. It's inside. You have your values, you see what you do, you tell yourself the truth about what you do, and you live what you believe. Your own values. If kindness is a value, kindness is probably near the top of the list for me of things that are important. Am I kind with people? If I'm not kind, I feel that because kindness is such an important value for me. What are important values that you want to carry today for yourself? Might be different for each one of us. Some things might overlap. So walking around without a good sense of self, not feeling good about yourself, it makes you vulnerable to get involved with people, friendships, romantic relationships, where people know you don't feel good about yourself. And they can use that to have control over you. They might want to walk all over you. They might want to fill the whole space with themselves, that they're the important one and you're not valuable enough to be considered or to share power with, which is a whole other video I'll do about sharing power in relationships. It's really important. So and you may not take good care of yourself because if you don't feel worthy of feeling good, then you might not take actions in that direction. So what does this mean for how we go forward? Let's steal from these ideas. 1, be around people who are positive, people who are not competitive with you, but who are very supportive. If people are competitive with you or put you down so they can feel better about themselves, notice that and decide if that's who that person is and they're not likely to change. Okay, decide how much you want to be around them, how much power you want to give to their opinion. If it's someone that has a good amount of awareness, but they just don't notice that when they said a certain thing that it hurt your feelings, you can say, can I give you some feedback about how that landed over here? And then they'll either say yes or no. If you're going to tell somebody something difficult, I found that if you ask their permission first to share whatever the idea is, they have a chance to ground themselves and just kind of root themselves in the earth and be prepared to hear what you have to say. So you can say to someone, you know, the way that landed, can I give you some feedback around that? Because I know you care about me, and when you said that, it hurt, or I felt not seen, or I felt not valued. Because maybe they didn't know, and so some people will take that feedback and make good use of it. Unlike other people with certain kinds of personality issues, they can never be wrong. It's always about them. Okay, the next thought for your self-esteem building is I want you to look at all the negative thoughts that you've absorbed over the course of your life. Take a piece of paper, it's one of my favorite exercises, fold it in half long ways, and on the left side, write all of those thoughts. This person thought you were too short, this person thought you were too tall, this person thought you were too fat, this person thought you were too skinny, and just like all the criticisms that you can think of. And it doesn't even matter if they contradict, but just all the criticisms that you've heard that somehow are swimming around in your brain all these years. Things from family, from school, from society, from beauty ads, from TV and movies. So list those things that are negative thoughts. They're criticisms of yourself. And across from each one, write down what the truth is. Well, I may be insensitive some of the time, but like 90% of the time I'm pretty sensitive and thoughtful. You don't have to be perfect to put something in the plus column. And I want you to see yourself, not how other people may have seen you. I want you to decide how you see yourself. We have a fancy term for that in psychology. It's called an internal locus of evaluation. The way we evaluate ourselves is internal, is from inside of us, not an external locus of evaluation where we look to others outside of us to evaluate ourselves. Let's take back our own power over how we feel about ourselves. And then, of course, with that, being honest with yourself about when I do this, I feel good about myself. When I do this, I don't feel that good about myself. That's good information for you. None of us are perfect. We're all works in progress. And so to be able to say to yourself, if I did that, I'd probably feel better about myself today. I might be more self-respecting, I might be kinder, so it might match my values. That's how I define integrity, by the way, is like when somebody is integrous, their values inside of them are what they live in the world. We may not do it 100% of the time. It's not easy to be that way all the time because we're not robots. So just to be aware of what your values are and how you live them. And what would make a good day for you if you woke up today and you were to feel really good about yourself by the end of the day? What would that look like? What would you do? What would you not do? Would you make sure to call some people you love and tell them you love them? Would it be to make sure that you get good nourishing nutrition and hydration, self-love? What are those things that at the end of the day, you'll feel good about yourself? And one of the things that can inform that is indeed, at the end of the day, ask yourself, what do I feel good about today? What did I do? Who am I? How I show up? My qualities? What things do I feel good about? So by doing these things, being around supportive people, and every day doing things that match your own values, even if other people don't like it, if it matches your values, that's valuable information. So take good care of yourselves. Self-esteem issues, the things that you've grappled with, feel free to put them in the comments. What's helped you grapple with self-esteem issues? How you've seen it change over the course of your life? And I read all the comments, so feel free to write them and share them with the rest of us. Have a really great day. We'll see you in our upcoming videos. Bye.